Welcome back, my friends, to the 1987 Supermod. I'm your host, Brad Drake, and this is my AWA save. Moving right along, we are in the last block of our tour. So after this block, these 3 dates, this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the first week of September 1987, we will be doing a whole new block and changing up all the matches. So we are in Las Vegas, Nevada this evening, and we got an exciting card. We got Debbie Combs squaring off against Medusa Michelli. We got the Nasty Boys versus the Top Guns. We have Eddie Guerrero battling Mike Graham. Mike Graham coming in from Florida. We have Russ Francis against Big Bad Bobby Duncombe. Kevin Kelly will mix it up with DJ Peterson. The terrorist Jack Victory, under a hood, will do battle with Jerry Blackwell. Dick Slater is going to get nasty. It's going to get ugly with Jimmy Snuka. And in our main event, the long-running bloody feud between the Midnight Rockers and the Midnight Express. Let's head to Las Vegas. All right, we're going to go ahead and set our venue. Southwest, looking at, we're going to go 5 to 7,000 here. And there it is, the Showboat Sports Pavilion. That's our pavilion. We own it, and we are going to run there. Let's take a look at our incidents, if we have any. Okay, looks like all protege stuff here. This one still cracks me up that Bockwinkel would take on Knobs as a protege. Benninghouse, I could see more than Knobs, but Stevens and Mark Young. Maybe Mark Young would teach Ray Stevens some of those breakdancing moves. Think about it, huh? All right. Let's take a look at who's absent. Looks like the usuals. You know what? We got to take a look at Mr. Saito here. And let's see when the heck he's coming back, because he's been out for a long time. And of course, we're going to have a spot for him when he comes back. So he's going to be back here in just 2 days. Excellent. All right, everybody. Just a quick update for you. I record these shows anywhere from 3 to 7 days ahead of time. Some of you have emailed me and left comments asking about when version 7.0 of the Supermod was going to be released. My original plan was to release it in the first week of February, but I gotta tell you, I am adding a treasure trove of information onto this save, or into the Supermod. So I think I'm going to push it off until March. I will give you a preview here of all that has been added, so you can see all these names and all these title histories. And for those of you that have ever done it, you know that creating a title from scratch and putting the history in there takes hours. So we have already added all these wrestlers. We have already added all these title histories. Okay, and here's the other thing too, like Tom Renesto, right? Tom Renesto was assassin number 2. When I added him into the game, I then have to do a search and go ahead and find all the previous titles that he has held and attach his name to it. The same goes for Pat Barrett, who's winding down his career here in the UWF. Ron Ellis, same thing. Danny Hodge. These guys, they held titles all over the country and in some cases the world. And you got to track it down and make sure that you attach those titles to their name so they get credit. So it takes, folks, a long time. I have spent days and tens of hours putting all this information in. But it is in the game, and it's going to be available in version 7. Now, that is what I've done. Now, just continuing, I have all these to continue with. I'm going to put the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight title, a tag title in there. We're going to get the Missouri title added. We are going to add all these classic titles into the game. So again, it makes it more realistic and shows the wrestler's true accomplishments. Again, I strive for realism, and this is what we're going to get. So the delay on version 7 is because of all this additional work that I am putting into the mods database. So I hope that you'll understand that the wait is going to be well worth it, folks. Okay, our card. Got Debbie Combs squaring off against Medusa Michelli. This has been a fun feud that we've seen around the country, and this is going to be one where we're not going to care who wins. We were worried about Medusa Michelli. She was cold for a while, but we see that she has gone ahead and rebounded a bit. So we're going to leave this one open-ended. Debbie Combs is actually down to neutral momentum. Wow. Medusa still has cooled. I don't understand this. They've been exchanging wins and getting wins on TV, but hey, it's their world. So we're going to leave this one open-ended. I would venture to guess Medusa. I'm going to say Debbie Combs is probably going to get the win here. The Nasty Boys versus the Top Guns. We're going to leave this one open-ended. Both teams have exchanged wins back and forth. I know everybody gets upset that I don't use auto name. It's just not my style. I'm sorry. All right. So that one's booked up. Eddie Guerrero versus Mike Graham. Mike Graham is available as far as I saw. And as I said before, this would have really been one hell of a match because even when he was younger and just starting out, Eddie Guerrero was super talented. And I think very highly of Mike Graham's in ring skills. I was first introduced to him by watching Starrcade '83. He's on an opener. I think he's wrestling Mike Davis for the World Junior Heavyweight title. What a match those two had. Wow. So Mike Graham could really go. So could Eddie Guerrero. This would have been a very good match for this time period. Russ Francis is going to get mauled again by Bobby Duncum. Russ understands this. He knows that that's his deal here is to get Bobby Duncum over around the country. Bobby Duncum, fresh back into the territory. We just got him back last month. And Russ Francis is doing the favor for him around the loop. So there we go. Big Bobby Duncum with the W. Kevin Kelly is going to battle it out with DJ Peterson. We're going to have DJ Peterson win this one because I got a feeling we probably have a lot of heel wins already. And this one's 14 minutes, 14-minute bout. Peterson with the victory. Jack Victory is going to take on Jerry Blackwell, and as always, Jerry Blackwell cannot go over 15 minutes, so we're going to cap it at 15 minutes. This is a solid card for Las Vegas. All these have been solid cards for the AWA, especially in 1987. I really think we're making the most of the talent and doing the best we can with television and with our tours. As we know, the AWA was decimated. They're relying heavily here on older talent, but they have some young talent also. This is a fun time. I think 1987 is a fun time to book the AWA, and I'm having a blast doing this. Slater versus Snuka. We're going to have Slater go over here. And we're going to have him cheat. There's Jimmy. Not Jimmy Magnum, but Jimmy Snuka. And we're going to go with Tainted here. That's going to ensure us that Dirty Dick is going to cheat. And in the main event, we're going to have this one go a full 30 minutes. This feud has been fun. Earlier I said that it's a long time feud. It really hasn't been that long. because the Midnight Express was locked in, or I'm sorry, the Midnight Rockers were locked in a long-time feud with Rose and Summers. But this feud's been going on for several weeks, and it's been a blast. They've been going all over the country. We've had some cage matches. We've had some bloodbaths. It's been fun. We are going to have the Midnight Express go over by cheating. Correction. We got a cheating match earlier. Marty Jannetty is going to go over. It's going to be an epic, but it's going to be by countout. So there's going to be no title change, okay? That's a solid main event for Las Vegas, Nevada in September of 1987. And the Showboat Sports Pavilion, if you watch the old TV tapings, they had a hard time filling that arena, but it was a pretty hot crowd. So I'm sure the crowd would have been really hot for this one. So this is, again, this is two excellent tag teams locking horns here. So we got 141 minutes total. We're between we are short of our 150-minute cap. This is a 2-hour and 20-minute show. That's about right for the AWA in 1987. So let's continue with this and let's get the show started here. Debbie Combs gets the win, just like we predicted. 41 and a 38 for a territory that we're just starting to get, or I'm sorry, a region that we're just starting to get back into is a pretty darn good score. So I'm pleased with that match. And the Nasty Boys get the win again. Okay, next time we're going to pay attention and make sure that the Top Guns get the win. Again, this is kind of a fresh region. These guys don't have much exposure. They're young. Again, like I said earlier, we're dealing with well-established older stars, and we're dealing with young, unestablished stars. Both the Nasty Boys and the Top Guns at this point are unestablished. So this is great just to continue getting their popularity going and seeing them grow as wrestlers. Mike Graham goes over Eddie Guerrero with that Boston Crab. That's a respectable score, 55 for these two. Bobby Duncan, of course, gets the win over Russ Francis, who only gets a 19 in Las Vegas. I think we sold out the Showboat Sports Pavilion. Excellent. Ooh, this is a little bit lower of a score than I hoped for. DJ Peterson gets the win, just like we thought. Let's see if there was anything that held them back. Inexperience of DJ Peterson. Okay. And this one is disappointing that it was that low of a score. The Terrorist actually outscored Jerry Blackwell. That's also because Jack Victory was a full-timer down in Dallas at this point for World Class. So he is getting the regional ups for Mid-South, but they're also doing dates in the Southwest region. So that's probably why he got a higher score than Jerry Blackwell in Las Vegas here. But that's okay. Let's see what Slater and Snuka did. 80. Excellent. Excellent score. Slater hits him with the foreign object, gets the victory. You know the fans were on their feet, yelling and screaming and going crazy at this finish because Jimmy Snuka was beloved everywhere he went, especially in 1987. The main event only gets us an 82. Wow. I thought we would get a higher score than that. It's still respectable for this time and place with the AWA. And like I said, we're just starting to reopen the Southwest region again. So Marty Jannetty getting a 78, Randy Rose getting a 64. I can buy it. It's realistic. But you know that this would have been one hell of a match. That would have been a really good half-hour match. Dennis Condrey was so smooth. And so were Michaels and Jannetty. Even this young, they were great. So I'm sure this match would have been absolutely terrific. Let's see the dirt sheet if there's anything we need to pay attention to, anything that's glaring. Jannetty and Michaels get inexperienced. Fair enough. You know what? We had Larry Hennig as the road agent for this. It shouldn't have hurt anything. They got a bonus. But maybe next time we have one of the Ganyas do it. I don't know if that'd make much of a difference, but it's worth a shot. So here we go. We got a respectable 82 here. Let's finish up. Let's cut some speeches because we did get a gain in that region. I think Kevin Kelly did a nice job for us here. We're going to give him, if you could give a high five in this, I would give him a high five, but I can't. Next, we're going to point out Dennis Condrey. We're going to compliment him on a good performance. And lastly, let's give Medusa Michelli some positive feedback here. She deserves it. Let's compliment her. So we're making our speech. Kelly's pleased. Condrey's pleased. Michelli's pleased. And I'm pleased. So we're going to head back to our main screen here. And let's see what else is going on in the wrestling world. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to update our spreadsheet here. Because next show, we are going to San Francisco. And as promised, we're going to have that $20,000 Battle Royal. We're going to change that card up, and we're going to have that $20,000 Battle Royal. Leroy McGurk, there he is. He's 76. He's going to get ready to retire. As you remember from an earlier video that we did, we covered how we imported Leroy McGurk into the game. Leroy McGurk was a longtime promoter. He promoted the Mid-South territory before Bill Watts created Mid-South and then eventually became the UWF. Watts was partnered with McGurk at one point, and there's some funny business rumored there that Watts forced McGurk out. So McGurk, as we've talked about before, was blind, yet he still did color commentary. And I've heard a lot of podcasts about Leroy McGurk, negative and positive things said about him. But I think one thing that can't be taken away is that the man knew his wrestling. And he knew good wrestlers, and he knew how to make money in wrestling. He was in the sport for a very long time. And I just thought it'd be fun to introduce him into the game here because he deserves to be in the game because he had a great impact on the history of pro wrestling. And I thought it was important that he was put into the game. If we take a look at him, I don't think his title histories are going to show. Oh, they did. Yeah. He held the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title. I'm sure he also held regional titles all over the place. I just don't have those titles inputted into the game. So Leroy McGurk is retiring. Let's see what else is going on. If there's anything exciting. David Sammartino is moving on. Where is David Sammartino moving on from? Okay, he's leaving the IWF, one of our outlaw promotions or independent promotions, however you want to put it. Fair enough, Sammartino. Good luck. How old is he here? He's about 27 or 28? 26. There he is. All right, we got 672,000 viewers for All-Star Wrestling. That's respectable. Imagine that. Mike Graham's tired. I'm in shock. Live event tour for the WWF. King Kong Bundy versus SD Jones in a cage. Oh, that would be awful. What an awful match. And that's headlining their tour. Of course, that's because it's less than to keep it off pay-per-view. Again, we got to lobby Grey Dog Software to get them to change it. Rick Rude beats the Ultimate Warrior. Respectable match. Oh, look, a second cage match. One Man Gang beats David Sammartino in a cage match. Ugh. That'd be horrible. I don't want to look at that anymore. Let's see what the NWA's doing here. I accidentally quadruple clicked. They get a horrible attendance in Philadelphia. Main event of Brad Armstrong over Ron Simmons. Again, this is that lesser than business. Not a good show. But they scored a 67 overall, so good for them. Let's see what World Class did on TV. That's a pretty impressive main event right there. Kevin and Kerry versus Bruiser Brody and the Spoiler. Like I said before, at this point, Kerry Von Erich is still not back from injury. So in the 7.0 edition of the Super Mod, that'll be rectified. That's a pretty solid main event right there. And then here's the house show attached. Kerry over Bruiser Brody. Impressive. Big 6-man tag there. Spoiler in the Simpson Brothers. It was for the World 6-man title. If anybody actually cares about that title to this day, drop a comment. Let me know. Killer Tim Brooks, or the Barbarian. The Hood is the Texas heavyweight champion. That's Jeff Gaylord. Jeff Gaylord was a monster. What a monster. I don't know how skilled he was in the ring, but he was a big, powerful, nasty dude. The Real Thing here was Rip Morgan. He was wrestling as the Real Thing at this point in time. Rip Morgan was a good wrestler. I enjoyed watching him. He was from New Zealand, I believe. Manuel Villalobos. Villalobos. That's it. That's the proper pronunciation. Manuel Villalobos wrestled Rip Morgan. Villalobos was just getting started in world class at this point. He was pretty much used as enhancement talent, although he did get some big wins on TV. All right, let's see if anything else catches our eye here. UWF had a live event. As we know, the UWF at this point is on their ear. They're losing a lot of money. They were ran in Arizona. Nice. For the 7.0 edition, I will be updating the UWF to where it's actually running the true tour. I never got around to doing that in this version of 6.0, but in 7.0, their actual touring schedule will be in the game, just like most of the other territories. UWF was interesting. That was Watts' attempt to go national. He had some success, and then they just had economic problems where he ran the show that was out of his control, and all his attendance dropped. Here's one of our outlaw promotions here. National Wrestling Federation, DC Drake. No relation, folks. No relation. Over Rocky Johnson. 53 and a 500 sellout for an independent show is pretty darn good. Larry Winters was a good hand. He was a good worker. All right, that does it then for this show, folks. Next time, we are going to be in San Francisco for that $20,000 Battle Royal. It's going to be pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I know you are too. If you haven't already, please, folks, give us a like. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We continue to grow. Our subscriptions grow every day. I'm getting emails wanting the Super Mod from all over the place, so we are reaching out there, and it's a fun and exciting time for me and also for our community, because really that's what we are with the Super Mod. If you haven't gotten the Super Mod yet and you would like it, visit my website, braddrake.net/contact. Let me know. I will be more than happy to send you the link to the Google Drive page where you can download not only the database, but also the picture pack. And please, also, if you have not, join us on Facebook. Join our group. Talk about the Super Mod with us. Talk about your save, what you're doing in it. The address for that is you can go to facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. Okay? Join us in conversation. Have some fun with us. And last but not least, folks, I'd like to talk about something that's a little serious. I just learned a few days ago that on January 28th, the wrestling world lost one of its wrestlers. A young man by the name of Adam Evans passed away in a tragic accident in suburban Chicago. Adam Evans was an independent wrestler since around 2002, 2003. He had made his way around to several independents throughout the Midwest and even in some spots around the country. He was a very, very talented young man. I was lucky enough to know him personally. He was just a good human being, always had a smile on his face, and what he was doing at such a young age. Adam was only 35. So you go back 20 years ago when he started wrestling, he was 15, 16 years old, and he was such a talented athlete and such a good wrestler. And he just matured and kept getting better and better and better. And he was always in great shape, always looked like $1 million. He was just a class act. I hadn't spoken to Adam for a couple years, and over the last decade plus, we would be in communication. We wouldn't, but every time I would see Adam or talk to him, it was always a smile. It was always a good feeling, and he was just a wonderful human being, and he was a very good and talented wrestler. And I'm gonna miss him. And the world is less of a place. So any of you take a moment, look up Adam Evans on Google. You'll see some of his old matches. You'll see he was a very good independent wrestler, did a lot of work for WWE for enhancement talent, and just a wonderful human being. So we're going to miss him. God bless you, Adam Evans.